Welcome back to the channel, and we've got a leaked image from Luna Rossa underneath the deck. A look inside, seeing exactly what the situation is with their boom, no boom. So Luna Rossa's mainsail looks immaculate down low, super clean. There's been loads of speculation throughout the cup cycle about what they have below the deck. I think Max Sirena referred to it as the beast below at one point, or words to that effect. And now we finally get to see, albeit in a blurred image. So this comes from an Instagram post by Pirelli. Max was taking them on a tour of the base, and just as he's walking past, we get this view of the interior of Luna Rossa. The aero fairings have been lifted up and we can see all beneath. So I'm going to guide you through exactly what this is we're looking at, what it means for the design implications, and a little bit of the pros and cons of this Luna Rossa setup. So first of all, I did a video a couple of weeks ago now speculating about what I thought Luna Rossa had underneath the deck. I said it was an aero fairing, and then looking just at the angle the main sheet blocks are pointing, that the hydraulics had to be forward and moving, sweeping an arc with that main sheet system. And sure enough, that's pretty much what we see, except I wasn't expecting such a large structure. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. You do need some sort of carrier for the hydraulics to stop them rattling around within the hull. You can't just anchor them at the mast step, and obviously when the main sheet goes loose, those hydraulics would just fall down and rattle about. So you need some sort of car for them to sit in, and that's exactly what we see here, a car for the hydraulics to move with the main sheet blocks on the Traveller. Now, is this a boom? Well, it's got some features that make it like a boom. We'll get into some of the positives of it, but it's not a boom in the way that Ineos or American Magic or any of us conventionally would understand a boom. Now, the plus side of the boom normally is it gives you a lot of clue control in terms of pushing the clue away from the mast. So all those loads pushing the clue away from the mast and flattening out the bottom of the sail can be done by the boom and the outhaul. If you have a boomless setup, then all those loads have just got to be taken by the main sheet. So a boom's a good way to reduce the loads on the main sheet, and a good way to get control over the foot of the sail. Now, it's not to say there aren't workarounds to that. You can have more powerful main sheet systems, more load in your main. You can change the sheeting angle. However, critically, it can't move up and down vertically, and that's key if you're going to control the outhaul and keep the bottom sail flat. No matter how much main you ease, no matter how much leech tension you ease, then that boom needs to move with the sail, with the clue. This doesn't. It's below deck, it's on a very fixed Traveller, so it's not really giving them that benefit having a boom. But what it is doing, and this is quite clever, when you compare it to Emirates Team New Zealand, they've got all their kind of mechanics for moving the sail around above deck, whereas this all below deck, which is super streamlined. It also means these kind of sections, the sizes of everything, you can just make them how they need to be for the structural side. You don't have to worry about making any of this aero because it's already hidden under the deck. So from a kind of mechanical structural engineering point of view, this gives you just a lot more freedom. Secondly, Emirates Team New Zealand don't have this kind of boom structure below the deck. And what that means is for Emirates, all their load of the main sheet, all that kind of compression, all that kind of bending force on their boat has to be taken by a stronger hull. Whereas here, Luna Rossa have a boom which can take this. Now, a boom, instead of having to make the whole deck, the whole hull really strong to take these loads, no matter where the main sheet is on the Traveller, with a boom you don't have to do that, because the boom can just be the one like structural rib, and it's always moving with the main sheet, so it's always precisely aligned with those kind of compression forces which would otherwise be going through the deck on a boomless setup. So it's kind of a lightweight way of always making sure you have this kind of like structural support for your hull which is aligning with the loads that it's facing. So instead of making the whole deck, the whole structure stronger, you just have this boom to take those forces. Next up, I think one of the things I see as a potential here, it's hard to tell because it's so grainy, but if you look to the front of the boat, they could also be using this boom as part of the mast rotation system. Now, Ineos and American Magic use the kind of compression forces on the boom to pop and rotate their mast. Luna Rossa could be doing this under the deck. It's hard to see that at the front, so I'm not completely sure. It could just be a fixed rotation point, a fixed gooseneck. Now, they can't really use the boom sliding forward because this boom won't slide forward because it's held by the track at the back. So if they are rotating the mast with it, it will have to be a separate set of hydraulics, which is pushing into the mast to rotate it. But that's another interesting aspect. But I hope that's explained to you a little bit more of what's happening here, why they've done it. Great area gains in terms of drag. Opens up you kind of mechanically, structurally, a lot of freedom into this as soon as you don't have to make it aero above deck as well. There's no concessions there. It's below. It can be the size and shape it needs to be. And it's taking a lot of load off their hull. But what they're not getting from this is the kind of clue control, stopping that clue from compressing, getting the outhaul on. So there's still something a little bit magic in Luna Rossa in the way they're kind of really manipulating the bottom, that sail shape, and stopping it from just bending into a massive bag. So yeah, kind of quite impressed by this. Yeah, it's a nice little bit of engineering. I hope it's giving you an extra insight. I'm really looking forward to the racing next week. Got a few more videos, Emirates Team New Zealand crew roles, also their kind of writing moment, philosophy, design, and of course we'll be making predictions again, so prepare yourself because they're likely to be very wrong. So take care, looking forward to some more racing again, and catch you all soon.